just a little introduction. Prana, the inner energy which balances us. Ayama is to expand or to widen. So pranayama is expansion of that chi within our body. Specifically, breathing techniques helps to develop the inner prana much more in a faster, strongly manifested way than other practices does. It is not that other practices doesn't do it. Example, if you are practicing asanas, it is also a way of enhancing the prana. If you are practicing the seals, the mudras or the bandhas, they are also exactly doing the same thing. But when we are doing pranayama, we are connecting straight in with the breath, straight in with the breath, straight in with that breath which elevates the prana or the pranic processes. Unlike when asana, through the asana, yes, we do the breathing practices in asanas, but the breath often in asana practices are semi-controlled. And half of it is being controlled because of the way the body is moving. Unless you have done your sadhana a lot, and that might be, you might be able to control it more. And same for your mudras and bandhas, we're working with the breath retention, but we are not really amplifying the magnitude of the breath in most of the practices. Some are different though. So let us begin with the pranayama practice. That was a short introduction of what pranayama is about. We'll be doing a few practices. Consistency on these practices are the key. Some of the practices would be invigorating, some of them are relaxing, and that is how we balance out the chi within us. So please sit straight and close your eyes. A moment to reconnect with your breath flow. Take your breath down all the way to the bottom of your feet on the inhale, feeling the cells being nourished. On the exhale, letting everything undesired, unwanted to flow from the bottom all the way up to the top, and exhale through the nostrils. Do this a couple of more times, feeling lighter with every inhalations. Feeling replenished and fresh with every exhale. Take one more of such breath. And bring your right palm on your chest, the left palm on your belly. Put the left palm close to the pubic bone. We'll practice half process of yogic breath. Now on the inhale, begin to expand your left arm out first. That means breathe on the belly. Continue the inhalation, now lift up the chest, expanding the right palm out. Hold the breath for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, descending the right arm, that means release the chest, the breath goes out from there. And then completing the exhalation as the belly descends, the left arm goes in. Let's practice this a few times. Inhale, left arm to your right palm. Hold. Exhale, right palm, and then into the left palm. Inhale, left belly, onto the chest, hold, exhale chest, and then into the belly. Practice this for 6 more rounds at your own pace. At the top, when you hold the breath, hold as long as you're comfortable. For the same length of time, if you have longer breath, it might be less than 6 rounds. It might be more if you have shorter, and that's fine. Carry on. Make this as your last round of practice. Once done, relax your palms and take 2 natural deep breaths. Gently take your time to open up the eyes. Okay, let's go on for our next practice, and this is one of my favorite, one of the very effective practices. We do it quite often in every classes, which is the kapalabhati. There are a few different dynamic practices such as Bhastrika, kapalabhati, and if you are a beginner or even if you're an advanced practitioner, kapalabhati is one of the best practice you can choose. In Bhastrika, the coordination might be a little bit hard, the dizziness feeling might be stronger, but for kapalabhati, it's a lot more restorative in that aspect. Kapala means skull, and bhati means to shine, because it cleanses the frontal vortexes of the brain, cleanses the mucous membrane, the frontal brain hemisphere. Also, it's a good massage for all the internal organs. The process of kapalabhati is the focus being right from the bottom of your pubic bone, an inch above that point. That is a point of contraction which you want to draw in every time you forcefully exhale out. So as I breathe out, I go, and then I relax my belly, I soften it, allowing the breath to come back in naturally. So I go exhale, and I relax the belly. The inhalation comes back in naturally. So it's a process of forceful exhalation and a natural inhale. Now think about as a balloon. Sometimes the coordination might be slightly difficult for certain beginner students. Most of them catch it pretty fast, but I have seen the coordination going reverse way for lots of beginner. Think of a balloon. You want to inflate the balloon expands, so the belly will soften. And when the air is being taken out, the balloon contracts in, so it goes in. So when you expel out the air, the balloon contracts inward. Any new students watching, and I know there might be some of you, do it slowly. I would suggest you do it 1 breath per 2 seconds. We'll be doing 1 breath per 1 second, but it is important that you are doing it the right way to get the proper benefits of this practice, rather than trying to do it fast. It is always the control rather than being more aggressively trying to get what we see around us. So if you're a beginner, suggestion is this practice at this rhythm. Regular students, 1 stroke, 1 pumping per second. Let us practice 50 strokes, and we'll be doing it for 4 sets, so altogether 200. If you're in menstruation, this is not a recommended practice, so you might do a nadi shodhana, the alternate nostril breathing. In case you're not aware of it, you simply go back to the first breath pattern. Okay, so let's get started. 4 sets, 50 strokes each. Take an inhale. Just naturally exhale it out. And then inhale, get started. Relax. Take 3 deep breaths. Diaphragmatic preferably, so expanding the belly as you breathe in, descending it down naturally as you breathe out. Second round, 50 strokes again. Breathe in and begin. Relax. 3 more deeper breaths. Set number 3. Breathe in. Begin. relax. 3 more deep breaths. 1 more set to go. Check the state of mind. If you're a beginner, might be some hyperventilation causing dizziness. Absolutely normal. The deeper breaths helps to oxidize back in again, feeling natural. Last set for 50 more strokes. Inhale and begin. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 5 deep breaths. With these breaths, see if you could start expanding the lower belly a bit more than the previous rounds were. And that means enlarge the volume of breath being intaken. Try keeping equal ratio both on inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, gently open up your eyes. Okay, one more practice. This is a cooling practice. This helps you sublime down the body temperature. So for mild fever, this is good. Not for high fever, it's just for mild fever. Also a great practice if you have done some vinyasa classes. Although we have just done some kapalabhati, which also builds up some heat, so we were going to pacify it. This is called a sheetali, and sheetali is also like a twin sister of shitkari. Sheetali and shitkari always goes hand in hand to each other. Both helps to cool down. So the process of this practice is we open up the mouth, like creating a loop of the tongue. So I would extend the tongue out and I will make a loop like an O. And with this loop, I take a breath in. So what this does is the same concept of dog panting. When the dog pants, they're actually letting the saliva from their tongue to evaporate, and that helps to cool down the body temperature. That's exactly the same concept. So we extend the tongue. I'll demonstrate the sheetali first. We create the loop, we take a deep inhale in, we close the lips, and we exhale out in ujjayi, or a natural breath. Ujjayi helps to cleanse out the phlegm, so it's just an added benefit, but ujjayi means you're going to press the back of your glottis, creating a humming sound, like an ocean sound. So if I'm going like, that's a pattern of ujjayi breath. So that's only the exhalation part. The inhalation part is through the loop. If ujjayi is not very cleared for the beginners, just breathe out naturally. So the practice goes, I'll extend out the tongue, creating a loop. So that is an equal ratio of inhale and exhale. Now, many of us are not the tongue roller. Yeah, so probably some of us cannot roll the tongue, and that's natural. I think around 10% of the populations aren't really tongue rollers. So for that, the alternate practice is sheetali. So in sheetali, we open up the lips and we expose our teeth like you want to brush. And through this cavity of opening, we breathe in and we breathe out the same as a previous method. So a demonstration. I'm going to open up nice and wide. Okay. 10 rounds of this practice. Do it at your own pace. Now, you have an option of doing 5 rounds of sheetali, 5 rounds of sheetali, or an option of doing all 10 rounds of sheetali, or an option of doing all 10 rounds of sheetali, of course, if you cannot roll out the tongue. So choose anything which works for you. Okay, let's go. Sitting straight, close your eyes, and begin when you're ready. If you have longer breath, you might go for less number of rounds on the same given time. I'll follow the average pace. If you have shorter breaths, it might be more than 10. I'll tell you when to stop. Let's go for now. Make this as your last round. And once finished, take 3 more diaphragmatic breaths, expanding the lower belly on the inhale, descending it in on the exhale. Bring the palms in front of the heart to close with an Om chant. Inhale in. I bow to all of you for being here today with me. Namaste.